this is a really important subject because the question is not whether about supporting environmentalism or supporting cleaner air. The question is about how we do it and what the best way to do that is, and playing to our strengths as Americans. And that strength is innovation, that strength is technology. We could do something like implement a Green New Deal and ban fossil fuels, and we would take care of maybe 15% of, not maybe, definitely 15% of emissions worldwide. Okay? We would also destroy our economy. And we'd have a negligible effect on the environment. There's other ideas out there from leading presidential candidates to, say, ban fracking. That would be an interesting shock to the economy and really put any of these ideas right out of business. It would also be interesting because, and Dr. Krishnamurti, as you mentioned in your testimony, there's been a 20% reduction in emissions per capita largely because of natural gas. It begs the question. There was another study by DOE that showed if we replace China and India's coal-burning boilers with natural gas, they would reduce their emissions by 40%. You add carbon capture to that mix, and you're talking 90% reductions. So focusing on what works is so unbelievably important. And Dr. Krishnamurti, I want to go back to you. I mentioned before that there's talk of actually banning fracking right now. Mm-hmm. Could you just comment on what the consequences of something like that would be if it happened tomorrow?
If it happened tomorrow, the growth in Permian that we anticipate going from 3.5 million barrels a day to 7.5 million barrels per day will stop. And that's the kind of thing that's not only given us energy independence, but has enabled us to be a net exporter of crude.
What would the environmental impact be on emissions if we just stopped using natural gas all of a sudden?
Well, we've got to find that energy somewhere. We need a lot of energy. We'll probably go back and restart coal-fired power plants. We might start to look at expanding some of our nuclear power resources.
Would there be most likely an increase in emissions or a decrease? Absolutely, an increase in emissions. That would be a problem because I don't think we all want that. I will say it's nice to be in a hearing where we have a lot of viable solutions, and we've discussed a few of them. We've talked about energy hubs and the authorization needed for that. Interesting ideas like reclassifying CO2 as a commodity. It's interesting because it really is. It's used in EOR. You can make plastics. We could possibly one day make gasoline out of it. Maybe this gets back to something we should research as a fundamental science in an energy hub. I've also heard it could be used for agriculture, of course. I mean, you can talk about a greenhouse that needs multiple times the CO2 that is present in normal air, algae farms, things like that. When we're talking about solutions, and again, I want to get back to this main truth, which is that America is the innovation capital of the world. And ignoring that or destroying that capability by destroying the fossil fuel industry is actually bad for the environment. And that seems counterintuitive, but it's really not. And we've proven why today, because the rest of the world, and especially countries that emit far more carbon dioxide than we do, are relying on America to be the innovation engine of the future.